Bonjour à tous, bienvenue, hello everyone, welcome. Aujourd'hui, on va parler au sujet du futur proche. So today we are going to talk about the futur proche. And in order for us to talk about the futur proche, we first have to do a little bit of background work. So before we even start talking about futur proche, I want to make sure that we can conjugate the verb aller, because without conjugating the verb aller, we are not going to be able to form the futur proche. So first quick review, aller is the verb to go, as in I am going to go to the store, or the going. And to conjugate aller, we have je vais, tu vas, il, elle, on va, nous allons, vous allez, and il, elle vont. So as you can see, everything inside that boot is going to be irregular, and it's going to start with a V, and then everything outside of the boot is regular, and it follows the pattern. You drop the ER and you add your ending onto the end. So it's a little bit tricky to remember this, but if you give it a quick look over and you go through some flashcards, I have no doubt that you'll be able to get it. So now let's talk about the futur proche. So to form the futur proche, there's actually only two steps. The first step is that you need the verb aller, and you need to conjugate it. So we've got aller, and we need it conjugated. And then the second step is we need an infinitive, meaning we need a verb that ends in either ER, IR, or RE. So that's it on how to form the futur proche. Now let's talk about what exactly the futur proche is. So on our great big timeline of life at the bottom here, we've got right here with the star is le présent, which is the present. And then we have a little tick mark a little bit ahead of time, and that is the futur proche, or the FP, futur proche. Way down at the end here is le futur, like the way future. After our present, so we are here, right? This is where we are. And so after our present, we have le passé récent. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then way back here, we have the past tense. So it's helpful to know this going forward, that this is where we are going. So we're going here. And we're also going to end up going here. But we're going to talk about the futur proche for right now. So the actual futur proche means near future. So futur proche just means near future. And it's something that I'm going to do relatively quickly. So within the next week or the next day or month, etc., etc. But it has to be that key word near. It has to be something that's going to happen relatively soon. So we already talked about this on how to form it, but I'm going to go over it again. The first step to form it is you need a form of the verb aller. So you need it conjugated. So remember that little verb chart. And then the second thing that you need is an infinitive. And that's going to be a verb that ends in ER or IR or RE. You need one of those three. So let's do an example together. So I'm going to do exemple over here. So exemple, let's say I am going to study. So that's what it means in English, that I am going to study. So I am going to study. We're going to bring the I down, and so that's je. Now this am going changes to a form of aller, which is vais. And now we need to study, which is going to change to étudier. And we keep that ER on the end. So, je vais étudier just means I am going to study. Let's do another example. So, exemple deux. Let's do I am going to go to the market. So, let's change our subject up. Let's say we. So, we are going to go to the market. All right, it's a little bit of a longer example sentence for you. So we're going to take our subject and bring it down. So that's nous. Now we need the are going, and the are going is going to be allons because we need the verb aller. So nous allons. Now this might be where it gets a little bit tricky, but we have to go again. So we already conjugated and we already did the are going part, but to go is just aller. You don't change it. So we're going to bring that down, and that's going to be aller. So nous allons aller. To we know is à. And I'll give you this one. The market is le marché. So we have nous allons aller à le marché. Now when we have à plus le together, we take them away and it contracts to become au. So nous allons aller au marché. All right, let's do one last example. We have, let's do they are going to read. So they are going to read. So we're going to take our subject and bring it down, and our subject is il or elle. I didn't specify. And now we need the are going, which is going to be vont, because we need aller conjugated for il and elle. And now we need to read, and to read in French is lire. So il or elle vont lire. And that's the end of our sentence. So the future proche is actually quite easy to form. Just know that these are actions that are going to be performed in the future, and it's a relatively near future. So the only thing that you need to form the future proche is your form of aller plus an infinitive that either ends in ir, re, or er. C'est tout. That's it for the future proche. So it's not super hard to form. The only difficult part is to remember when you have two forms of aller that you need both forms. You need a conjugated form and then you need an infinitive form. So if you have questions, si vous avez des questions, envoyez-moi un email, send me an email, et c'est tout, et à plus.